Tipping off the dime, it's a Boston Sea Party as the Celtics shoot for the series clincher with the Kings just one turnover from a quadruple double, while his team has one loss from the offseason. With free agency nearing, is LeBron willing to try on in New Jersey? The Final Four is set as it's time for the dime.
If I saw LeBron James with the same aggressiveness and tenacity game in and game out, and I don't see it.
I'm not an excuse guy.
Pierce driving, laying it in, drawing the foul on LeBron James.
They played awful, man. They got every right to boo us if they want to. I just missed a lot of shots. Missed a lot of open shots that I'm capable of making. Okay, I feel like it was the right to boo them. So be it. If I don't hang my head low or make excuses, he's sitting up here and say it's potentially our last game. It wouldn't be me. It wouldn't be our team.
And welcome to the Daily Dime. I'm Jim Basquill. Ahead in the show, we explore the future of free agent-to-be LeBron James. But how about the present? In the history of the NBA playoffs, less than 17% of teams that had lost Game 5 of a best-of-7 series that was tied had come back to win the series. Cleveland is the 13th team to lose such a Game 5 by at least 25 points. None of the previous dozen had come back to win the series. This was the 34th time the Celtics had led a best-of-7 series 3-2. They went on to win 32 of the previous 33, which is the highest percentage for any franchise. The Cavaliers, meantime, only 1-8 in games in which they have faced playoff elimination on the road. That's the bad news, Cavalier fans. The good? LeBron averaging just under 32 a game in 6 games, which his team has faced playoff elimination. So let's see how it all falls out as we tip the highlights of Game 6. LeBron and the Cavs facing elimination. It's Game 6 from Beantown with Rajon Rondo set to wrap things up. Opening quarter, check out James crashing the glass here off the putback. He gave the Cavs 9 points and 5 rebounds in the opening quarter, but how about Rondo's second quarter going off the window here, +1, scooping up and under. He had 21 points and a dozen assists. Cavs get points off the defense here. Mo Williams to steal. He'll take it all the way for the lay. Mo had 20 points in the first half, though just 2 after the break. Ray Allen sets things up for Tony Allen, who stamps the rim. Boston up a deuce at the break. That's worth another look as he gets just a bit higher than Antoine Jamison. Third quarter, it's Kevin Garnett, KG fading away on this J. Along the baseline had Boston back up 3. Then it's LeBron. He had 27 points, 19 rebounds, and 10 assists. James, this is second straight three-pointer in the fourth quarter, suddenly had Cleveland within 4, but James also had 9 turnovers, this one of them. It leads to Rondo off the other end, goes off the window, and Boston is back up a half dozen. Then it's Paul Pierce off the drive, setting things up for Rasheed Wallace. Sheed came to play, doing it from downtown. Boston back up a dozen. KG, the finishing touches with a jump hook. It's Boston in 6. They take Game 6, 94-85. LeBron's season is again done before his team reaches the finals.
I'm really not that proud of this, truthfully, because our goal was to win a championship. We didn't say we wanted to come into this year and beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in the playoffs. Our goal is a championship.
It's a tough series, I got to tell you. This was a brutal series. Guarding LeBron James for 6 games is just brutal. It really is.
Well, it's a lot of people in this room, boy. Man, a lot of people in this room. Whew. I ain't seen this many people in this room since 08.
I think we had opportunities to win the game, to win the series, but we didn't execute, for 48 minutes as close as possible every game. And when you don't do that against a very experienced team, against a team that's been around this block more than once, then you can definitely end up on the losing side. Tonight was a game that we fought hard, but when you give up, when you turn the ball over as much as we did and give up 27 points off our turnovers, it's very difficult. But I think tonight we left it on the court, and we have nothing to hang our heads low about tonight's performance.
So as LeBron goes, so go the Cavs. In the first 2 Cavalier wins, he averaged at least 35 in each. The 4 losses, though, he was held to 27 or fewer, and that includes the 15-point showing in Game 5, which translated to a 32-point blowout by the Celtics.
We bring in Jamal Mashburn once again. And Mash, LeBron put up much better numbers in Game 6, except for those 9 turnovers. But overall, what were your impressions of his performance in the series as a whole?
Well, I thought he was a little bit more engaged in the previous game. Obviously, the Boston Celtics defense had a lot to do with the fact that he wasn't able to get to the basket. They turned him over 9 times, and he was trying to be a facilitator and a scorer at times. And I thought he allowed the Boston Celtics to dictate what he was going to do on the offensive end. And as an offensive player, you must be the guy that dictates what you're going to do, and especially when you have the skills like the 2-time MVP in LeBron James. At times he settled for jump shots, which was long 3-point shots, and sometimes he looked hesitant, and sometimes he just fumbled the ball out of bounds. And he got to get a little bit more help from his role players. Even though Mo Williams stepped up in the first half with 20 points and 22 points overall, it just wasn't enough. Where was Antoine Jamison? He only had 5 points. So they got a lot of things to work on in the offseason. I think the biggest one is where LeBron James is going to go.